Good afternoon, all you Plumpepper foodies. I'm going to do a new dessert recipe today. It's tiramisu. Tiramisu has always been one of my all-time favorite desserts in the world. It's just preparation of a few different layers. So it's really delicious and it just tastes incredible. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this recipe. I want to show you guys some of the ingredients first. The main thing is that we use ladyfingers, which are just Italian cookies right here. Dutch processed cocoa powder, mascarpone cheese, right here it's just soft Italian cheese, 3/4 cup of heavy cream, we have 3 cups of strongly brewed coffee, some dark rum, espresso powder, there's the rum again, and eggs, sugar, and salt, which I'll show you in just a little bit. The first step is that you want to mix up your 3 cups of coffee and you can pour just 2 tablespoons of espresso powder into there, and then 5 tablespoons of rum, which is right there. And so I'm just going to stir that gently because this is kind of full here. And this is basically a mixture to soak your ladyfingers in later. I'm going to stress that you need to soak these ladyfingers for about 2 to 3 seconds. If you soak it for too long, you're going to get a really soggy tiramisu, which is never good. And you soak it for too little, you're going to have a crunchy tiramisu, which isn't good either. So 2 to 3 seconds is usually pretty ideal. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to beat 6 egg yolks, which are at room temperature, in a stand mixer. So I'm going to direct you over here. Here's 6 egg yolks, room temperature, that you're just going to pour in there. And you're going to beat that for about 10 to 15 seconds, just until it's well combined. At low speed is fine. And then to this mixture, you're going to add your sugar, and it's two-thirds of a cup of sugar. It's right here. And you're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, which I have in this little bowl right here. You're going to add that, beat it at about medium to high speed for about a minute. Okay, so this has been going for about a minute right now. We have a pale yellow mixture. This is just the 6 egg yolks, the sugar, and the salt. So to this mixture, after about 60 to 90 seconds, I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of dark rum here, which is in addition to the rum that was already added into the coffee mixture earlier. So you have about 11 tablespoons total. So you're going to let that go at about medium to high, again until it's well combined. And you need a total of about 1.5 pounds of the Italian mascarpone cheese. So while this is going, I'm going to add the mascarpone cheese, which is right here, in a few separate clumps. So this is going to be the first clump that goes in here. Let me make this a little easier on myself here. Shut that off, open that. Okay, so I'm adding the mascarpone. This is the second batch. Like I said, you want a total of 1.5 pounds. So it's 3 of these small containers. This is the second container that I'm adding. And then right here is my last container. Okay, so this has been going for about 60 to 90 seconds. You can see that there's, 90 seconds to about 2 minutes. You can see there's no clumps in here. It's nice and smooth. It's got a nice smooth consistency. So I'm going to shut this off and then transfer it to another large mixing bowl. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer this mixture, which is the mascarpone mixture, to this, just a large mixing bowl right here. So I'm going to pour the cream right here. That's 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. It's going to stay right in there. I'm going to take this right over to the mixer. Okay, so I've got my whipping cream in this bowl here, and I'm going to beat it at about medium for about 60 seconds at first. Okay, so this has been going for about a minute right now. You can tell it's starting to get frothy. So you want to increase it to high and let it go for about another 90 seconds to 120 seconds until you form stiff peaks, which I'll show you later as well. So I'm going to put it on high right now, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so we're starting to get about where we need to be. It went from a soft peak to a stiff peak right now, and we're just about there. So I'm going to shut it off here, or turn it down, and in order to check and see if it's a stiff peak or not, you basically just lift it up here and grab a spatula, and if it stays firm like that, that's a stiff peak right there. Now basically what we're going to do is combine the whipped cream mixture with the mascarpone mixture. And you can't just put everything in together. You got to take about one third of the whipped cream, pour it, gently fold it in, which means you cut it in half like this. And that's folding it in. So you do that with the first third, and then you can put the remaining whipped cream in. Again, you're going to fold it in there instead of just mixing it up. And you kind of keep folding it until no white streaks from the whipped cream remain in there. Okay, so now you might be wondering what we're going to do with that coffee, espresso, and rum mixture. So I'm going to direct your attention back here. Here's that mixture. I'm still combining it. If you see those espresso beans in there, that's fine. Don't worry about that. What you're going to do is take each and every ladyfinger and dip it in here for about 2 to 3 seconds. And that's a key step, the 2 to 3 seconds, because again, if you keep it in too long, it's going to get too soggy. You keep it in too short, it's going to be too crunchy. So you just kind of hold it, 1, 2, each side, and that's really it. And then you just arrange them in a layer down there. Each and every ladyfinger goes in a layer, just like that, 1, 2. So a total of about 2 to 3 seconds for each ladyfinger. So each side is really about a second to a second and a half each. 2. Okay, so now this is my first layer of ladyfingers, and you can see they can be arranged any way you want to because it's all going to get combined once you refrigerate it anyway. So I had to cut a few of them to make sure that they fit in this bowl, and that's fine again too. You can go ahead and do that. So for the entire first layer, you're going to take, there's the ladyfingers, and now you're going to add half of the mascarpone mixture to this whole layer. So you're just going to spread it out on top here. Okay, so now you can see that I've spread the mascarpone mixture over the ladyfingers and kind of spread it into the cracks and the corners of the baking dish. So on top of this is going to go 2 tablespoons of Dutch processed cocoa powder, and that's the bitter cocoa powder that goes in the middle here. So basically you're just going to sprinkle it all over here. And the next thing you want to do is repeat the steps with the ladyfingers for your second layer. And again, the same dipping process, no more than 2 to 3 seconds for each ladyfinger. Just goes in, 1, 2, and that's it for each side. And again, you're going to just arrange that layer on top here. So this is my second layer of ladyfingers that have been soaked in the rum, espresso, and coffee mixture. You totally use about 14 ounces of the ladyfingers. So on top of this layer is going to go the rest of your mascarpone mixture, which I'm going to pour just on top here. So now the mascarpone mixture is spread on top here, and now what I'm going to do is take the final tablespoon of the Dutch processed cocoa powder and just spread it out over the top here. And this layer you kind of want to make it light, because otherwise you're going to get too much of a bitter taste with the with your tiramisu. Cover it with plastic or saran wrap. So after having been refrigerated for 6 to 24 hours, you can take it out and then garnish it with chocolate curls, bitter chocolate curls, or grated chocolate, and serve it with Moscato di Asti or Porto or any other type of dessert wine. And enjoy. That's it. Chin chin.